Hi, everybody. It's Garth here again, and I am with Simona, and we are going to talk about finding your awe. We, we've been challenged, we've persevered, and we continue to do this because this is what gratitude is all about. It's about really getting into your awe. It's about finding the thing that drives you, that moves you forward, and it's about that thing that just takes you to a whole nother level. So with that, I am going to welcome Simona to our screen. So welcome and our show. Welcome, Simona. How are you?
Thank you so much. I feel blessed to be here.
Okay. Well, it's good to be blessed, right? It's something. It's a good place to start. So let's get cracking, as they say. Let's have some fun and let's enjoy ourselves. So what is when I think of gratitude, and I think of how people's lives have been impacted, it really touches my heart. And what does gratitude mean to you?
Well, where should I start? So, gratitude is medicine, probably the most powerful medicine we have at our disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is hard to do gratitude when you have had complex trauma, because that is the muscle that gets battered, and sometimes it needs rehabilitation. So, you might have this friend who's like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
just they just can't see. It's a beautiful day, the sun is shining, and they still just have something to moan about, right?
Right,
So,
right.
um, and I think there is a lot of prejudice with gratitude folk, when people are not grateful and they don't really understand that it's like a seed that if it has been battered, it it forgot that it's even fertile. It's like when a child had trauma, it
Mm.
feels like putting that seed into a glass jar on the shelf and forgetting about it. So it takes
Okay.
a little bit of, but it feels safe while it's in an because whatever we have experienced as a child feels safe. And it can be terrible what we felt as a child, or it can be wonderful what we
Mm-hmm.
felt as a child. But that is because we survived it.
Okay, so you talk about surviving it, and you talk about being battered, and my brain is like, okay, well, what exactly is that? You want to tell me what a little bit about that? The batteredness, or
So
what does that look like?
So it's very simple. We all need basics to grow up. Like a seed
Mm-hmm.
needs soil and needs to have a place where you feel safe to crack open. And when you're like tiny, where the wind doesn't blow quite so much, maybe some bigger things to protect you, like in the rainforest. There's an ecosystem.
Okay.
And when you didn't have that ecosystem as a child, so i.e., it wasn't safe to be you or to speak up, or it just wasn't safe. Safety is important as a kid. Quite often being ignored, not heard, or afraid to express yourself because it could mean a disconnect. You protect yourself, and that
Okay.
is a bit like putting a seed in a jar on the shelf.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So a need to protect yourself, and once you decide that that's something you don't want to do,
Mhm.
then you move into this gratitude.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
really important to have a community. And that's what you wonderfully built. And I love so much because it's so hard to get out by yourself. So,
Yeah.
and what I love about the clubhouse room is you can just sit on the sidelines. You don't need to go on stage and share your gratitude. You could
That.
just listen to gratitude, right? That would
y-
be a warming up. And okay, this is an environment where I feel like cracking open. Because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
vulnerability to it. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. There's two things that come up for me. I had a interview earlier this week with another person in the gratitude room, and they talked about two things. One was a digital campfire. The
Mhm.
gratitude room is like a digital campfire, and then the other one was they refer to it as a heart opener.
Mm.
And now you were talking about, you can come in and you don't have to share gratitude. You can just be in what we call the listening lounge and
Mhm.
just listen to people share their gratitude.
Yeah.
And that has some kind of healing
Yeah.
properties, some kind of a healing impact. Just
Mhm.
listening to people talk about what they're grateful for. What
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, it does. When you have made peace with something, because you can also have gratitude envy. So it can really piss you off when other people are grateful all the time. You
Okay.
know, so it's kind of like, so you need to be on the willingness, like
Hmm.
above the above the feeling pain when other people are happy, which is a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When I think of the moments that we have in a gratitude room, when I am really in the zone of sharing my gratitude, I feel good. I feel really good. Right. And so I can imagine, because there are some people, there is actually one person in the almost 5 years that we've been having these rooms that has never shared,
Hmm.
but is always there.
Hmm.
I don't know if they have a voice or if they don't have a voice, but
Hmm.
I find it interesting. And then there are some people who come in and all they do is listen, and
Yeah.
that's all they do. And maybe that's all they can do. I don't know. I don't really know for sure. But what I find with gratitude, it is because you said, a good title for this was finding your awe, right?
Hmm.
Or some version of that. And
Hmm.
I what I do know is that gratitude transforms your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So getting from the word gratitude, from the gratitude trauma,
mhm,
gratitude envy, gratitude willingness, but not being able to expose yourself to sharing your list,
mhm,
right? So
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
grateful. We have a lot of people with additional needs in the group, which is really super cool. There's lots of people that have sight problems or otherwise, like needing a little extra hand, and when they share, it's so amazing because they know how it is
mhm,
being fully functioning, like no worry in the world, in the body with your health, and then being challenged with their health, and then needing to milk the other little things when your world becomes small because you're in a wheelchair or you're blind. Your
mhm.
world is much smaller. Where for me, my world is really huge. And on top of it, which is, I've never had childhood trauma. I've had the most
Okay.
beautiful upbringing ever. I've
Mhm.
I was born into love and gratitude.
That's a
So
beautiful thing.
I
Right?
know.
Yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful thing because a lot of people can't say that.
Mhm, mhm.
At least in
So
my world, a lot of people can't say that.
yeah, yeah. Well, they do exist, and there's plenty of us around.
Mhm,
But you nearly have a shame that you didn't have any adverse child experience. It's like
mhm,
I'm a coach. I have amazing empathy, but I cannot say I understand what you're going through when you've been neglected or your parents were drug addicts, you've been
mhm,
neglected, social services eventually picked up on you, you were undernourished, and that's the people I have worked with for years with, or the military and the prison service. So
mhm.
I am not someone that goes like, oh, look at me, I've walked that way, I can show you how to walk my walk. This is not the kind of person or coach I am. I
Okay.
can, but I'm an extreme empath. So when I work with you, and I work with trauma, but not just trauma, just like to get you into that awe of you, of being you. I it's like my understanding is not me understanding you. It's like I
Mm,
stand under you
okay.
and lift you up so you can see better with your eyes. So if we then would kind of like change positions, you lift me up and I look over exactly the same fence, I will not see anything you've seen.
Mm,
So it's really about supporting the other in their own experience of themselves.
okay.
Yeah. And
Uh,
the and when you can be respected in that you can be you with all your things, and there's like and there is a gratitude that comes from um the like when it springs out of you rather
right.
than artificially, like it's like on the should list because it's good for you,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
it is like medicine, but it's not something you should be doing, right? But you might start with a should, and
Okay.
this room is wonderful for that. Show up every day and make sure you remind yourself of what you're grateful for. But it's really when you sort of the first step up is like when you don't do it because you should, but because it just comes out of you.
Okay. So when it just comes out of you,
Mhm.
what kind of state or beingness, or I don't know, what would you say are you in when that happens?
Yeah. So it's actually quite easy. So because I was born seeing energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see what state someone gives gratitude in. I can even hear it without.
Okay.
So, so it doesn't matter if it's a should gratitude or just a barely squeezed out gratitude. It is like light. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you say nice words or having this teeny weeny bit of gratitude, there is a light on. It's like the light's being switched on.
Okay.
And then there is like the list of like, I'm grateful for my car, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my health.
Right.
That is kind of like usually an umbrella kind of like feel. Yeah.
Okay.
So the light gets lighter, but there's an umbrella over it, which stops it from really igniting and having a huge impact on your life.
So what would be the thing to ignite it to so that it
Mhm.
has this big impact on your life?
Throw the umbrella away. so,
Okay. So
so
so how do you
yeah.
do that?
Yeah, and that's also not quite as hard as you might think. So this is
Mm-hmm.
actually quite natural, and that's what I teach. It's like tuning into the elements, the five senses, and kind of like just like, okay, so having more descriptive words, just rather than I'm grateful for my health, which is
Mm-hmm.
like a huge topic, right? Go like, I'm grateful I can listen to this audio and I can be in this room being inspired by others. That's already brighter.
Okay. All right. I got that.
And then if
Um.
you go more detailed, like into the smaller bits,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the attention comes from, is seeing, like looking through different eyes. And then we get closer to the awe. Can you see how you kind of like just inch your way to the
Yeah,
to
I
the
can I can see it, but I don't know that others are going to be seeing it. They're probably experiencing it and they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know that when you share your gratitude, there is this feeling that I have of I'm listening to someone who is really in touch with their spirit, with what they are expressing right now. That's a feeling I get when I listen to you.
Mm,
I feel like, what, she knows that she is connected in some kind of way. She's feeling the love, and you could say it was almost universal. Um, and so I get this good feeling in myself just from listening to you share your gratitude because
mm,
of the way of how you express it. And I don't know what happens for other people. I hope that they feel the same way too. But I guess this is where you say the umbrella is thrown away and you're just expressing yourself and just being in gratitude and
Mhm.
being in this world as you are,
Mhm.
right?
So it's like talking about gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's feeling gratitude. So with that's the next layer up. So we had the talking about gratitude, the
Okay.
talking in more detail about gratitude, and then actually feeling the gratitude.
I laugh because there's this volunteer in our organization, and she has talked about feeling gratitude for years. And initially I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And now I can say that I'm feeling it more,
Mhm.
uh, and I understand a little bit more. I wouldn't say that I totally understand, but I know that that when you are or being grateful or experiencing gratitude, that there's something that happens, and I personally can't say I know what all those things are because I don't.
Mhm.
Even to this day, someone asked me uh in the early days, do you know all the benefits of gratitude? And I said, no, I don't. And they said, well, you need to Google it. And so I did. And I didn't realize that gratitude impacted so many things.
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's the best supplement you have, and it's free. But but it's still some. You see how you need to like crack open and grow with it. So there isn't. So when I share in the room,
Mm-hmm.
it's possible that I can make someone feel not good enough with their
Mm-hmm.
credit, and
Okay.
that's such a shame. It's
Mm.
just like, oh, but it's a bit like someone learns a piano and then there's a virtuoso, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and I can't say that I have had to put many hours into my gratitude. That wasn't it. It wasn't the hours, but it was the hard times in my life. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't my childhood, but I've had a lot of hard times in my life. But it's not.
Okay.
Um, but like really, when life is so scary that you're afraid to lose it, gratitude and prayer, which I think is the same similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer can also be, we can have a whole discussion about prayer because it can
Okay.
be just something you say, it can be something you try to be rescued from, or it can be something that you when we started, I said I feel blessed being here.
Mm-hmm.
So I already feel blessed. I don't need to ask for a blessing.
Right,
That's
right.
one of the different. That's like there's like a glass ceiling with gratitude, where where you still feel like um, gratitude is something you do rather than gratitude is something you are. And that's the
Okay.
same with prayer. I don't pray to be saved because I'm, what's the worst that can happen? I will die. Suffering is worse probably than dying,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
probably.
I've suffered so much in my life. I bring it on. You know, and you can still be grateful. So I'm always kind of like one prayer away from rock bottom. Have
Okay.
always been, and that's how I raise my children, is not with a religion, but with the understanding that there's something much greater than we are, that has a plan. And the plan didn't come didn't the plan didn't suck just because you die.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
kind of like that's going home. That's a good thing. That's like a release when it's the right time.
Okay.
um,
So you say, your childhood was, or growing up was great, and then the challenges you had happened later in life, and you talked to, I wrote it down. I said losing it,
yeah.
and then you were talking about prayer and gratitude.
Mhm.
How do you navigate that when you feel like you might be losing it, or
Mhm.
it appears to be that way? How do you
Mhm.
navigate that? What do you do?
Well, so I was in hospital,
Mhm.
white walls, 12, 13, 14 years old.
Mhm.
and not really any human interaction beside visitors once in a while. And I felt so lonely, so scared. I was in pain all the time. The doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. I was in and out of the hospital, but but you either go mad or you find spirit.
Okay.
I think. So I don't, I didn't go mad, so I'm still, but it's kind of like, and I kind of like sometimes think, because I'm a realist, even though I'm super spiritual and I, channel and all things. I
Mhm.
sometimes think, so what if all this is nonsense and there's no God and there is no karma and all that? I wouldn't do a thing different in my life
Mhm.
because it just feels good what I do. I don't do it out of fear. I don't do it because I could go to hell or I will disappoint God. Just like,
Mhm.
um, so I have a really intimate connection with what I think God is, but I might just be schizophrenic. I might just be away with the fairies.
Okay.
But I'm quite comfortable having a very intimate connection with what I refer to as God.
Okay. All right.
And I've heard that with many people that were in dire places, that they found God or Jesus or something like that through the dark time, because there was nothing else to kind of like turn to. And gratitude is a bit like that. It can
Yeah.
be weaker.
Well, you talk about there's nothing else to turn to. There are times, when things are good, we don't need to seek out any other thing because we're happy. It's
Yeah.
convenient. And
Mhm.
when things aren't so great, or we're faced with a challenge, or something comes up that we've got to put our energy and attention to, that we actually, I think we actually grow. We find deeper spiritual meaning. We get connected to things that we didn't even know were there.
Yeah.
um and I don't know, maybe I'm on this thing now, maybe this reframing of life in a different way is something that I need to figure out. I don't know the answer right now, but I just thinking about it, as because you said what you said. um but I think that as we evolve through our challenges, whether it's pain or suffering or whatever it is
Yeah.
for you, we become different beings.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not the same person I was 6 years ago. I totally
Hmm.
am not. All
Hmm.
right. I've been
Thank
practicing
God.
gratitude. Yeah. Yeah, thank God. Right. I am so different than what I was.
Hmm.
6 years ago, I was a realtor, and
Hmm.
um and all I thought about was selling houses. And then, here I am now, someone who started a gratitude movement that I had no idea I was going to do that. All right. I didn't know I was going to impact the lives of thousands of people just because of one decision that I made. As a matter of fact, I was afraid to make that decision.
Hmm.
So it just goes to show, that if we can embrace it, I guess you call it finding your awe. If we can just embrace that awesomeness that's inside of us, I mean, there's great things that can happen. You
Hmm.
know, did you have an experience in particular that you could say, when this happened, that was when I found my awe?
Well, awe is waking up after having flatlined. That's a
Mm,
good awe.
okay.
Yeah. So when I was 15 and a half, I went to the other side, came back, woke up and went like, wow,
Mhm,
I'm still here. So maybe you need to go really kind of like through threshold experiences to really get the awe early in life,
mhm,
maybe. Childbirth, definitely an awe when you hold your child for the first time in your hands. Um, but if it's like what I have learned, if you're always dependent on great things, like for example, you studied forever and then you
mhm,
get your degree and you have this, yay, and then nothing comes, right? The yay doesn't even last long enough to repair the damage the
mhm.
studying has done. That's not an awe. But you could choose to pause and awe.
Okay.
And it all has a there's a you know when it's an awe. And would you like me to tell you about how you know that it's an awe?
Absolutely.
Good, because we could pretend we have an awe right here, right now, and
Mhm,
then it becomes kind of like better by visiting it more often.
mhm,
So I run a retreat in Croatia, which is an elemental retreat. So all we do is be in nature and doing things that are in our nature. It's a small group. I only have women in this one. And it's about getting to know what where your energy expands and when your energy contracts. So if you think of your favorite meal, just take a moment, your favorite meal cooked by your favorite person. And they don't need to be alive anymore. Just
mhm.
like a meal experience where you just go like, wow, that was good. And just slow down everything a bit. Slow down, go into the detail. See, like in slow motion, the people around you. Taste it. What happens? What happens in your body, Garth?
Mhm. Well, when I'm thinking about this meal, I am feeling, I might feel hungry, but I also feel like I'm savoring the taste of the food.
Mm. Do you notice something in your mouth?
Not particularly, but now that you say it, yeah, I would have to notice that, but that seems like it's the default response or
Mhm,
reaction.
mhm.
I'm not really present to it.
So when you learn the anatomy of an oar, which really sounds kind of like ridiculous,
Hmm.
you get to know where to look.
Okay.
So if you stay in that moment long enough, you might find your mouth moistening, not just because of food. That could be watching a sunset with a loved one while the sun is setting here nice and pink in my window here.
Okay.
Nice. Thanks. I'm grateful for having the sunset right here. So
Hmm.
how likely is that? So nice. All the houses have moved to the side just so that I can see the sunset. It's so good,
Okay.
you know.
All
So,
right.
and if you stay there long enough and you get a little deeper, you might find that moisture of the mouth goes into the moisture of the eyes.
Okay.
That is a good start for an awe. Then you become aware of the smelling the situation, like really
Mm.
just taking it in, like as if there is this picture that you can recall and you could actually breathe it in, the energy of it. So just try that.
Okay.
And
So it's
something,
almost like I want to close my eyes when I do this, but
yeah,
you
you
know, I I
can.
I, I am I am you know if I if I'm having something in my mouth and then I'm feeling the sensation of that, it's almost like I feel like I'm slowing down.
Yes. So an awe is not a fast thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
awe is very much akin to pausing,
Okay.
but it's also about focusing. So you kind of like by focusing, you blend the other things out, right?
Okay.
So you find something you want to be in awe about, which you give your attention, it's the first step. And then you, in that small bit, you kind of like, like looking at the sunset. You don't look at the sun, you look at the whole thing, but you don't let
Right.
anything else in. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't matter where you're sitting now. It doesn't matter what happens before or after. So you're completely in the now where nothing else happens. It's like a
Yeah.
sacred space.
That is like being present
Yeah.
to the moment that you're in right now. So when I think about that, I think that there's times where, and probably a lot of times where I'm just in the doingness of life, and I'm
Yeah.
not really present to the moment, to the now,
Yeah.
um, and becoming present to the now, the taste of the food in my mouth, and all the things that happen as a result. really brings you internal. It creates an internal experience.
Mhm. Your environment is the only inside your environment.
Hmm.
It's really the only thing you have control over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your external environment is a co-creation of everyone on this planet. That's
Yes, that
how
is
I think.
true. That is true because there's
So,
so many things going on with with everyone, and they're seeking, whatever they're seeking.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay, so that is kind of how you. So that is that. So this
So
is how you frame.
we're getting through presence,
Okay.
So, but that's still not the awe. Presence is not. So we're still in the process of kind of like gathering all the things for the awe. So
Okay.
we have the taste, we have the smell, we see a picture,
Mm-hmm.
and then make your ears as if you could. Oh, this is spectacular. Sorry, I'm slightly deterred. I have like purple, pink, turquoise. It's all happening. Like angel wings, all happening out here. It's just beautiful. Like I could do
Yeah.
all just with that. I could
But
just like go like and get into awe. So,
okay, I
and
got
I
you.
could do a wonderful gratitude share just about the sunset because I don't look at anything else around it. So
Mm-hmm.
I can blend out all else, and it's like a good date, not a date to eat, a date, a
Mm-hmm.
relationship date, a meeting
Mm-hmm.
someone is being curious and really see. It's like like in the slapsticks movies when like the girl walks by and shakes her hair, it's all slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, and the boys just go like, I like that, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
bit of that feeling. It's like everything slows down and all your attention goes into looking at the beauty of it.
Okay, got
So
you.
when you have a newborn child in your hand, it's trouble. It's nice when it pops out. It was safer inside, less trouble inside usually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So well looked after. It comes out and it comes with a whole sorts of, there's a whole lifetime of, interesting things to navigate. But if you look at
Well,
that, the first moment your baby pops out, you're really missing the awe, So
yeah. Well, guys don't get to have that experience, unfortunately.
yeah, well, you still hold your child for the first time, which is
Yeah.
also one
Yes. Yes.
moment.
Yes. Yes.
But then very quickly it goes like, okay, we need to change a nappy. So
Mm-hmm.
and then the awe is kind of like over. With the first nappy, the awe is over. So, but it is really not, it's like bottling that awe and being able to sip of it and revisiting it like you revisited the meal
Mm-hmm.
therapeutically.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
first of all, you can do it with a memory that you've had that has like an impact, or memory you would like to have. But it's good if you have a past memory. And then you can take exactly that awe and look at the sunset and keep going with that. And sometimes you feel the awe. Some people feel the awe before the words come, and
Mm-hmm.
some people are more like the word people and takes a while for the sensations to kick in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna, as a matter of fact, the next meal that I have,
Yeah.
or not meal, but maybe saying the next time I have something to eat,
Hmm.
I'm
Make it
gonna.
like a date or an apple, or make
Hmm.
it one thing. If you
Yeah.
have to make it a chewing gum, it's just not the same. But the closer to nature and nurture, that's why we looked at the meal. So
Hmm.
the easiest thing to awaken or birth your awe
Hmm.
is with nature or with nurture. That can be a massage. It can be a conversation with the person you love. It can be
Okay.
looking at, it's now getting ridiculous as sunset.
Well, you're in a part of the world where there is a sunset. Where I am right now, that sunset is probably hours away.
Yeah, well, we have it just now, but we also have the aurora borealis, which I
Okay.
wanted to mention as well in relationship to the awe.
Hmm.
The northern lights when the sky is just like out of this world, colorful, moving. It's just There's no word. When you see it, you're in awe.
Yeah, yeah,
Unless
yeah.
and there
Uh,
must be something broken if you see the aurora borealis and you're not in awe, you have a problem.
yeah, well, I have not yet seen one because
Yeah.
in the part of the world where I am, it doesn't exist. All
Yeah.
right. But I would love to see that. You know, you talk about bucket list items. There are a few
Mhm.
things that I have on my bucket list that I want to
Well,
experience.
like,
Uh,
this is the time of the year, and you're always welcome in Scotland. We'll get you up there.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah. So,
yeah.
so is that all the components they are to the awe?
So it's that, and then knowing that you're not doing it.
Okay,
It
tell
has
me more.
nothing to you that you it has nothing to do with that. So with a meal, it's a bit like it's borderline. With nature, you surely have no influence over nature, right? It just
Okay,
happens. And it happens, it doesn't matter if you're worthy, it doesn't matter if you're a good person. Like nature delivers even when you don't think you're worthy. Because otherwise you wouldn't be breathing. So but we so nature delivers without the need to be worthy.
okay, and but you know, you bring something up, worthiness,
Hmm.
um, and I think that a lot of people think that they have to become worthy in order to have an experience. And what you just said is that nature has this way of being, and it will produce whatever it produces, and it has nothing to do with you as the individual.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that's left is the meaning that you would give something as is happening, and that's up to you. But you don't have to be anything to experience this wonder, this beauty that nature is producing right now.
Yeah.
And there are people that may not believe that.
Well, like I'd like to prove them wrong because then no serial killer would be breathing.
Yeah, well, when I say people that might not believe it because they're stuck in their own persona, their mind, or their reality of what they think is happening right now, and so they can't see this
Yeah.
beauty that you're referring to, this
Which
awe.
often has to do with childhood trauma.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a shame, isn't it?
It is, but it can be solved.
Yeah,
So it's really it's amazing. I love like I have worked with broken people more than other people over the
hmm
last 30 years. And it is profound when love returns.
Yeah,
Self-love returns.
it's
Mhm.
man, you know, when I think and I don't know if this has anything to do with me, but I know that that when I get in my own zone, like I really can appreciate life and appreciate what life is doing for me. You know, like earlier today, I had to go fix a broken pipe. So I had to go to the hardware store and get the materials, and then I went to the house and took care of it, and and that was something I wanted to. I didn't want to really do it. I had to do it, but I did it, and then and then the problem got resolved. And I'm not sure why I'm even telling you this, but it's just that my day started out with something that I didn't really want to do,
Mhm.
but I did it anyway because it
Mhm.
needed to be done.
Mhm.
Um, and some days, when we talk about gratitude, I've got this card in front of me. It's actually, I'll see if I can show it to you. It says,
Mhm.
I am grateful for you, you know,
Mhm.
and I have that in front of on my desk where I can see it all the time because I think the gratitude has to start with you. You being grateful for yourself and
Mhm.
recognizing that you are a gift to this world.
Mhm. But you don't have to anything.
You don't
It's
have
an
to anything.
it's an
Okay.
invitation. And awe is an invitation as well. It's just a really, really like that's really good. Should I show it to you? Should I show you the sunset?
You can try. I don't know how it's
Like
gonna
I
work.
don't know, I don't know how it let me just see.
I don't know if the
You
camera is
see
gonna
it?
see.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
it
It
doesn't
doesn't give
show.
the colors. Oh, oh, you're not seeing it. Well, I could
Well, I will
describe it
see it.
to
I
you
was.
really
I'll
well.
tell you what. I'll see it later
Yeah,
because we have a sunset here.
you got good
Um,
sunsets over there. That's
yeah, and usually when they're colorful, the sunsets, um, it's indication of rain and atmosphere and all these wonderful things. Like I said, I've never seen that aurora borealis. So how do you pronounce it?
Aurora borealis.
Aurora borealis.
Yeah.
I have not seen one of those. I've seen
Mhm.
pictures of it, but seeing a picture is not the same as seeing it with your own eyes in
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
right?
So the difference between good gratitude
Mm-hmm.
and awe is that good gratitude is still a bit like a firework. It's somehow man-made,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit made. There's a little bit of effort behind it, or pretends,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to make it really good. Storytelling.
Okay.
There's storytelling. There's a production behind there. Where awe is like the aurora borealis. You're not doing it. It's done to you, through you, with you.
Right. So it's almost
You're
like the
you're it.
experience. So it's the experience.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you are breathed by the universe rather than
Mm-hmm.
taking a breath. So the universe breathes out in you, into you for you to receive a breath. It becomes like everything just turns the other way around and you're just in bliss.
Hmm. And every time I hear that word bliss, you know who I think of? I think of Joseph Campbell.
Mhm. That's funny.
Yeah, and this guy has been gone for I think
Yeah.
he's back in the 80s when he passed away.
Mhm.
Um, but
Mhm.
okay.
And then
So
there's another thing. So do you always live in awe and always live in bliss and always live in gratitude? Because when I take the pipe, um, what you just said, which you didn't know
mhm,
why you said it, just to make sense of what you said I had to do, I got to do this, I had to go to the hardware store. So if
mhm,
you translate it into grateful living, it would be I I live in a place where there's a
hardware,
hardware
hardware.
shop. I have the money in my pocket. I got a car. You know,
Right,
the,
right,
the
right.
gratefulness you could milk out of that experience.
Mhm,
And I have the skill to, to mend a pipe. Like that could all be one huge gratitude pour, right?
absolutely. If you slow yourself down and you start to see life that way, and
Yes.
and so I think that um being in this consciousness of taking time to be aware and be present to all the things that happen around you will
Mhm.
even enhance your
Mhm.
gratitude even more.
But what is actually the best thing about gratitude is when it's really bad, when you're able to catch yourself, like when you
Mhm,
like really feel put out by the pipe. It's like a red light going up. I'm really put out by the situation.
mhm.
Then you take a breath and then you go, how could I look at that differently?
Right, right,
And
right,
that's
right,
where the
right.
skill then comes in, which you have, you know.
Yes, yes.
And that makes for a more grateful life, but it doesn't mean that you don't get triggered. It doesn't mean that you don't people don't drive you around the bend just because you're really good at awe, gratitude, and bliss. Because do you know why? Do you know why most human beings don't just live in bliss?
Tell me. Tell me.
We're human.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have incarnated, in my eyes, also a yogic belief, for an adventure, to feel. Because if there is such a thing as heaven that's all blissful and all of awe and all that happening, and we lined up to get incarnated and squeeze through that birth canal, and that was probably a trauma in itself,
Mhm.
into a world that's so different. that's full of contrast. It's like, I like, I don't like, I should do, I shouldn't do. This is good, this is bad, you know? So we knew when we came here, in my eyes, that that's
Mhm.
what we're in for.
Mhm.
So the aim, probably, rather than just bliss or awe, is being in awe for everything.
Yeah, and it has to be a conscious decision because um, until you make that conscious decision to be in awe, uh, you're probably just kind of having some kind of default mode that you're in,
I
where you
don't,
just life is doing you, huh?
well, I don't even know if I want that, which
Mm.
is the interesting thing. Because, like, if my child would be tortured in front of me and the fingernails being pulled out, would I want to look at that in awe? No, I would kill the person. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
so I think we're too hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of these spiritual people, they just pretend, really, that they're all holy. And I've sat with the Dalai Lama in a minibus for many hours, talking and listening to him. And he's not like that. He's real. He's lovely. He knows gratitude is a practice.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't love the Chinese for having taken down Tibet and, killed many Buddhists. Like, he knows that they will just go to heaven and they're fine, but there's still a sour taste, even
Mm-hmm.
for him.
Mm-hmm.
So who am I, me, Simona Moya, to pretend that when I get, you know, rubbed the wrong way in my world, that it's not okay to feel things that don't feel so good?
Right, right,
Because
right.
I am, my practice is to love all of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my spiritual practice, which means also the crazy Italian sometimes, when I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like get triggered, or the I don't feel shame very much. It's not something that I grew up with, but I have been introduced to shame not that long ago.
Mm.
And I feel grateful for it because I've missed it. Half a century, and shame didn't feature in my life.
Mm.
So, same with guilt. Guilt is a very short lived emotion in my life. Um, I was able to taste it a bit more, sit with it, see what sits behind it, love it, integrate it.
Right.
And that's not nice. It's not pretty. It's not comfortable, but it's wow, it's profound. It's it's awe-striking.
Yes.
But you
Well,
do need to pause. So without slowing down, none of this works.
yes. Well, we've covered some different things,
Mm.
and we're almost at an hour now, so we've got into our conversation and lost track of time. But
Yeah.
when you talk about the awe and feeling the awe, which was kind of the gist of this conversation, I can see how being present and really making a conscious effort or decision to experience where you are now,
Yeah.
and be present to that.
Yeah. And in the beginning, like when there's still trauma featuring, it might be just being present with your breath,
Okay.
or present with someone just putting a hand on your shoulder.
Mm.
Just simple things. It doesn't need to, everyone can feel it, but sometimes there's lots of layers you need to go through till you feel it.
Okay. So, what would be one thing that you would like to tell our viewers before we go? What would be one thing you would want to share with them?
Okay, there's an important thing.
Okay.
So let's say we are all out of a bag of seeds and nuts,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
everyone is like a thing. And our let's say your dad is an oak tree, your mom is a sunflower, and you're a coconut, right?
Okay. All right.
So they all require different things to flourish. to feel nurtured. Yet your dad will try to provide the oak treatment, and
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
mom will try to provide the nourishment for the sunflower.
Mhm.
And then you wonder why you're never a good enough oak and you're never quite as bright as your mom, as a
Mm.
sunflower is impressive. And I think what is really important is to find out who you are, what nurtures you,
Mm.
so that you don't get yourself a coach that is a palm tree and you're an oak tree, and your coach
Mm.
will always make you feel not good enough for not being kind of like bendy and slender and wanting to live in the Caribbean, you know.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah. Right.
um,
Right.
so it is really about doing you well. And I think our society, social media, and everything is distracting us from that
Mm.
rather than nurturing that. And I think that's an important thing I want to share. Do you well. It's okay if you don't know anyone else like you. You will find them, they come later on in life. But that's where true happiness and health and everything really lies. Is like, okay, do you like cold water immersion? Is that something that gives you more energy and fills you up, or do you do it because you've listened to Wim Hof and he says it's the best thing ever? It's not for everyone, I can assure you. It's not
Yes. Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
So
Everyone.
doing things because it's trending, or do it like, it's really going more and more about into what it is you like. And then slowing down so that you're not acting from distraction, from a back brain, but you
Mhm.
put it to the frontal brain, and that's where the breathing and all that comes in to become more present.
Right.
But
Right.
it is do you well, nurture your nature, get to know who you are. And there's lots of ways that can help you get there. And that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And how can people find you?
Well, you can just put my name into Google and you will find me all over. But I'm on Facebook. My company is called meltmystress.com.
Mhm.
Find me there, but I'm on all social media channels as well. And you can always, always, always ask a question. I will answer it. And that's fine. I also do free 20-minute discovery calls. It's not a sales call, it's a discovery call where I can be of service for you for free.
Mm.
Nothing.
Mm.
Of course, if like 2 million after this video here, after this interview, try to call me or book this call, that might not work. But like, you can ask and I will answer.
Okay.
But what my biggest problem is generic answers, because they're just entertaining and time wasting. I don't like generic. That's why
Mm.
social media is not my favorite thing, because it's generic. And
Mm.
the work I do isn't.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for your time and 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 the experience that we're having here. And I am so grateful for you and thanks for being on the show and for
You're
sharing your words of wisdom and your knowledge with us.
What a
So
pleasure.
yes, thank you. Thank you.